And when I see you, we gon' talk. And it ain't gonna be just me. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be Chelsea Gray. It's gonna be all the activists in the WNBA. We're gonna come knocking on your front door at the hotel room and say, listen up, Caitlin. You need to come out and publicly denounce all of your fans.
That is a massive claim to start with, but it shows you exactly where the tension inside the WNBA is heading right now. When the league's top superstars feel the need to corner their biggest new attraction, it raises a question that goes way deeper than a simple basketball rivalry.
These players are going to put pressure on Caitlin Clark over All-Star break to come out and publicly denounce her fans. Publicly denounce her fans and say, hey, if you act like fans, I don't want you as my fan. I'm very interested to see if Caitlin Clark will bow down.
The idea of veteran players demanding a public statement from Caitlin Clark isn't just about internet comments or social media drama. It represents a fundamental shift in how the league operates. For nearly 3 decades, the WNBA built its identity on a specific dedicated fan base, operating largely out of the mainstream sports spotlight. Now, a massive wave of new viewers has crashed into the sport, bringing an unprecedented amount of attention, noise, and friction.
What's going on in the WNBA when it comes to fans talking shit, being mean, saying not nice things? It happens in all sports leagues. These women are just so emotional and so soft, they can't handle it. They've been begging for 30 years, I want attention, but only good attention. As soon as they get that attention, ooh, this is too much attention. Too many people are saying mean things. Too many people are calling me trash. Too many people are saying I can't make layups. Oh my gosh, that person called me a mean name.
This dynamic is where the debate gets messy. High-level professional sports have always come with aggressive fan bases, intense scrutiny, and online noise. But the speed of the WNBA's growth has caught many established stars off guard. The old guard expects a certain level of solidarity across the league, while the new wave of audience attention operates under the same ruthless rules as the NBA or NFL. But pay attention to how this conflict is being handled, because what happens at the upcoming All-Star break will reveal whether the league can actually manage its own success.
I took a screenshot of it so it couldn't be deleted. I think the first person I said it to was my wife. And then after that, I actually group chatted Asia, Jackie, and Jewel about it. And it was the first one was like, post it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to. I'm just letting you guys know what I've been sent. I texted my agent, told him, and I decided to post it.
Chelsea Gray made a deliberate choice by posting that screenshot right after playing against Indiana. Timing in sports commentary is everything, and dropping that message following a high-profile game against the Fever instantly tied the issue directly to the ongoing rivalry between the veteran core and the rookie class.
People have already gone in the archives of her Instagram comments. She's been getting called nasty names for quite a while. But once the Indiana Fever come to town and layeth the smacketh down on the Las Vegas Aces, oh, well, I mean, we got our asses whooped. How do we turn the narrative into something else? Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll blame those people.
Looking at the timeline reveals a clear narrative shift. When team performance on the court takes a backseat to public statements, the entire focus of the broadcast changes. The Las Vegas Aces are 2-time champions, a dominant team built on elite chemistry and execution. Yet the discussion surrounding them has shifted entirely from court strategy to managing online discourse and public perception.
You shared it this time, but I'm assuming there's other times that you've gone through something like this. What made the difference in this time wanting to share?
We got our asses whooped.
I don't know. Enough is kind of enough.
Can't even think of a reason.
It's not necessarily like, yeah, these messages are not the first of its kind. It's not. There was other stuff too. I just decided to share that one.
After the Indiana Fever game, right? Right.
And also, it was just time. I got fed up with it, and I just decided to share it. And maybe I don't share the other ones.
Notice the hesitation in that response. When asked directly why this specific moment required a public post, the answer circles back to frustration rather than a concrete strategy. That distinction is crucial. Receiving toxic messages in private messages is a reality that almost every high-profile athlete deals with across modern sports. But turning those messages into a public campaign creates a completely different environment, shifting the burden from individual moderation to league-wide policy.
Well, you think someone who is going to call you a racial slur is going to be halfway through writing that racial slur and say, oh man, that's right, Chelsea Gray. That's right, she said people are going to think twice. Oh, let me put my phone down. That ain't going to happen.
That we love, that we work so hard to do,
but
it's just a certain division that needs to be brought to everyone's attention and understanding that, no, this is something that's been going on, and it's just getting to a point where it's like, all right, now enough.
The reality of online trolling is that publicity often fuels the exact behavior it seeks to eliminate. When an athlete publicly highlights hostile comments, it rarely deters anonymous accounts. Instead, it signals to those accounts that their messages are landing, creating a cycle that feeds directly into the outrage ecosystem. This brings us to the business side of the league. The WNBA spent decades fighting for mainstream television deals, sellout arenas, and national coverage. Now that those elements have arrived, the traditional methods of player-led media control are clashing directly with an unrestricted, opinion-heavy sports fan culture.
No.
The larger conversation that needs to be had that is really above us, and I think that is the part that we really need to get to. So hopefully at All-Star, we can have an opportunity and a conversation, because at this time, something needs to change.
At All-Star, they want to have an opportunity and a conversation.
The plan to hold a formal sit-down during All-Star weekend highlights the deep divide within the union. On one side, established players want a unified front to control how incoming fans engage with the league. On the other side, forcing an individual star like Clark to publicly police her own audience sets a bizarre precedent that no other professional sports league enforces. Consider how other major leagues handle aggressive fandom. When NBA or NFL stars face hostile crowds or toxic online comments, the response comes from league security or platform moderation, not a mandatory public apology from opposing players. Expecting a single rookie to control millions of online followers is an impossible standard.
Close the door, and then all the players at one time, Brittany Griner, Asia Wilson, they're all gonna just, oh, let me in, they're gonna bum rush her, they're gonna bum rush into that room, and they're gonna tie Caitlin Clark up to a chair. They're gonna tell Caitlin Clark, you're not leaving this room until you come out and you denounce those pesky fans of yours. Until you denounce all of them, you're not leaving this room.
The narrative built around these interactions often exaggerates the physical reality, but the underlying social pressure is very real. Veteran players hold significant influence over league culture, veteran committees, and national team selections. When a dominant faction within a league sets a specific expectation, pushing back against it carries real professional consequences. If Clark chooses to stay silent and focus purely on basketball, she risks further alienating the established locker room leaders. If she complies and releases a scripted statement, she risks alienating the very audience that brought unprecedented viewership to the sport.
So I'm glad that Chelsea had an opportunity to speak up and had an opportunity to show that what we've been going through, and we're going to continue to go through until we have that conversation.
Yeah, what you go through is nothing special. What you go through is nothing special, nothing unique, nothing that needs to be addressed, nothing that a conversation needs to be had about. It's just a bunch of WNBA players crying because a bunch of people that they don't know are saying mean things and leaving nasty.
Dismissing these concerns entirely misses why this story continues to generate massive engagement. The conflict isn't just about a few negative comments on Twitter. It is a fundamental clash over who owns the narrative of women's basketball moving forward. For years, the WNBA operated as a tight-knit community where players, media, and fans shared a consistent social and political alignment. The influx of casual sports fans, sports bettors, and mainstream analysts shattered that consensus overnight.
We all need to take a step back. We all need to take a step back and put Caitlin Clark, just remove Caitlin Clark from the equation, right? And the way we need to look at this league and the players inside, no, excuse me, we'll move Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham out of the equation. Let's move them both. We'll remove Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham out of the equation. Now we take a step back and we look at this league. You're like, oh, this is just a reality show. This is just a reality show. I can laugh at you, I can laugh at you, and I can laugh. It's just one big joke.
When you look at the landscape without the media spin, the league is currently experiencing a classic culture clash brought on by rapid expansion. The TV ratings, ticket sales, and merchandise records are all directly linked to this new level of public interest. But that interest comes without any guarantee of polite discourse. The real question moving forward is whether the WNBA executive leadership will step in to set clear boundaries, or if they will continue letting veteran players manage league messaging on the fly. Relying on player confrontation during All-Star Weekend only guarantees further fragmentation among the fanbase. Should individual athletes be held responsible for the behavior of their online fanbases, or are veteran players setting an impossible standard for the league's newest stars? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button, and subscribe to stay updated on this story as it develops.